There's a saying that goes, plan for the worst, hope for the best. But baby, when I want to do my worst, I improvise. Everyone's always asking me, what's your schedule looking like? How's next Thursday? Where's the mouse? Newsflash, bitch! God didn't have a plan, your parents didn't have a plan, and I don't have a plan. What I do have is a video game news show, which gives me one over on God and your fucking parents. But on the off chance I am one of those, how about we find out? I am done fucking around with silly bullshit. Right, Krosnavog the holiday monster? I am gonna break this, and one of two things is gonna happen. Either a video game news show is gonna start, or we're all gonna die for a YouTube video. Michael, calm down. I googled the most common male millennial name. All right, let's do this. I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that still exists, unless you don't either. It's the end of the year, and that means Jeffy Keighley has his big awards show. But in case you weren't aware, the Game Awards isn't just an award show. It's also an excuse to advertise, show off new game trailers, and for Jeff to remind everybody that he knows Hideo Kojima. Before we get into that, though, Baldur's Gate won Game of the Year, and a bunch of other games won some other less significant things. Cool? Cool. Did you all know that Jeff Keighley knows Hideo Kojima? And did you know Hideo Kojima knows Jordan Peele? I love when famous people know famouser people. Wow! Anyway, Hideo and his newest Hollywood celebrity friend showed off some creepy heads saying nonsense.
They're purple dinosaurs.
The creepy head saying nonsense is their new video game, apparently, called OD, which will probably use a lot of ideas from Hideo Kojima's canceled Silent Hill game PT, OD, see what's going on there? Apparently, the reflection of their eyes has gameplay in it. I don't see it, and I'm not being paid well enough to make prolonged eye contact, but it fucking sounds like something Kojima would do. The scamp. Capcom announced Monster Hunter Wilds, a game coming in 2025, so we didn't see too much of it, but the footage of a dude riding his monster through a stampede of bears punching stegosauruses looked like real gameplay, so if that last sentence is any indication, that's a good sign. If I were to go out on a limb, I would say this game is probably going to be a little bit more open world. That's the vibe that the title Wilds and that big Vista shot at the end of the trailer give off anyway. The Steam page isn't helping at all, so I'm pretty much allowed to just guess whatever I want. I guess that there will be a lot of menus in the game. Prove me wrong, Capcom. More like Flapcom. More like Crapcom. The developers of No Man's Sky are making a new game called Light No Fire, set in a more fantasy setting, which promises to take place on a planet the full-scale size of Earth. Let's hope they've learned a lot of lessons from developing No Man's Sky, although the first one should have been not to say stuff like that. Planet the size of Earth. Why would you? Someone hit this guy with a rolled up newspaper. You want to spend another 3 years in exile? Do you? Sega is back, baby, and they're bringing their classic franchises with them. They announced 5 new games in a sizzle reel that showed off a little bit of each one. Jet Set Radio was probably the big one, but we also got to see a 3D Streets of Rage, a 3D multiplayer Golden Axe, a Crazy Taxi where it looks like the other cars are crazy too now, and they're actually bringing back Shinobi with a really cool 2D art style. Although evil Spider-Man who transforms into evil Batman probably won't be in it. That was a highlight. And was real. Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 4 is just called Dragon Ball Sparking Zero now, which is slightly easier to say. It got a trailer and a promise that it would do the Tenkaichi thing and have like a zillion characters in the game. As for how many of them will be Goku, or how many they'll try to section off and sell you later as DLC, for that we'll have to wait and see. Some ex-BioWare developers have formed a team called Archetype and are putting together an I can't believe it's not Mass Effect looking game called Exodus. Luckily, after subjecting us to pre-rendered sci-fi video game trailer number 400,097, they did show some gameplay, and it looks like it could be promising. It looks like Mass Effect, and I mean that in a good way. The developers of Ori are making a new game called No Rest for the Wicked coming sometime next year, and much like Ori, this game just looks fucking gorgeous. Yeah, that old man dying in his bed is actually gorgeous, okay? It's brave, and it's beautiful, and fuck you. And there's gonna be a story-driven game set in the Dead by Daylight universe, which has Chucky in it now. I don't know if the Dead by Daylight universe acknowledges that Dead by Daylight is horror movie Super Smash Bros. Or not, but anyway, the game is called The Casting of Frank Stone, which would be a clever title if Frank Stone was a name people already knew. If you go, oh, his name's Stone and they're casting him like casting stone, get it? But also you named the guy? Then why did you do that? That's embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed to say that to someone. I'm embarrassed that you said that. Hellblade 2 got a trailer that showed off some combat gameplay. And yeah, it does look cool and fast-paced and visceral, but I think the best advertisement for Hellblade 2 is just to play Hellblade 1. I realize to somebody that hasn't played it, anything Hellblade 2 is released probably just looks like a guy sticking his hand into the camera and going, whoa, but I promise you, this is exciting. There's a Jurassic Park game in development called Jurassic Park Survival. Trailer is just a pre-rendered kind of deal, but according to the website, it'll be a first-person exploration adventure game, probably with some light horror elements, and I assume a dinosaur might be there. You know the Of Mana games? Yeah, you would know of Mana. No, there's going to be a new game called Visions of Mana. It's a sequel to The Secret of Mana and Trials of Mana. It's a new one. It's not a remake this time. The developers of Dead Cells are making a co-op action roguelite called Windblown. I don't know if these transition to 2D scene things are actually in the game or if that's just something they did for the trailer, but that'd be cool if they were, just saying. This video is not sponsored, but our game that we published, Class of 09, is doing a Kickstarter for a full-length anime pilot. We already released an anime short, which you can watch now, and we've hit our second milestone goal, which means we're currently making an 11-minute pilot. If you want to donate to get us to a full TV half hour, or just to make the animation look better and the production go smoother, there's still about a week left in the campaign. I'll put a link to that in the description down below. Okay, more Game Awards mung. Let's get through this because I'm fucking bored. There was this fast-paced multiplayer mech game called Mecha Break that got revealed. Rise of the Ronin got a trailer and a release date. I forgot this one even existed, but it's an open world samurai game by Team Ninja that I'm pretty sure we saw at an E3 or something a couple years ago, and it just disappeared until now. That's out in March. Some character action game called The Final Berserker Kazan got revealed. That looks kind of sick, how he done beats the fuck out of people and maybe has a bloodborne dodge. Warhammer Space Marine 2 got another trailer, and it's coming out in September. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons is getting remade. Final Flappery 16 is getting 2 DLCs. One of them dropped with the announcement and is out now, and one of them is coming next year. Skull and Bones is finally releasing in February. Yeah, sure it is, buddy. They're doing a Pony Island 2, although this time it's gonna be weird going in. There's a game about a deaf musician girl that looks like one of those Gobelins animated short films. Gobelins, it's like a French... never mind. Goblins made it. Don't worry about it. That fucking ghost game, Banishers of Ghosts of I Done Seen a Ghost trailer. Unusual June, which is another game where you done seen a ghost, but then you have a Kingdom Hearts Keyblade. That girl who posed cute at an E3 over Ghost Spaghetti is making a new game called Kimuri, where you play as urban ninjas and fight Japanese folk monsters. World of Goo 2. I've just written down here. There was some more trailers for stuff that's already out, live service games, pre-rendered stuff that shows nothing, that kind of shit. There's more of it. Insomniac has been hacked. Insomniac. I'll leave my door unlocked. If anyone can come to my house and kill me, that'd be great. Thanks. Now, this is news, so I'm gonna be reporting on it, but it is super shitty, especially because it was a weird ransom situation and employees' personal information was compromised. So I'm not gonna be showing any of it. I'm just gonna going to be talking about it. So maybe the most significant thing to come out of the leak was a roadmap of future releases. We've got an unannounced Venom game, or DLC maybe, in 2025, Wolverine in 2026, Spider-Man 3 in 2028, Ratchet and Clank all the way out in 2029, and an X-Men game in 2030. So yeah, for the foreseeable future, Insomniac is just going to be the Marvel studio. Also leaked was a bunch of early footage from the Wolverine game. Again, I'm not showing you that right now. This is footage from the 2009 Wolverine, which is like a God of War knockoff. It's actually kind of sick. But if you do happen across that footage yourself, just remember that in-progress video games look weird. If you don't know what gray boxing is, you're not allowed to have an opinion on it. Remember the GTA 6 thing? See? Shut up. Speaking of which, Grand Theft Auto 6 finally got its first official trailer, and it looks cool as tits and Floridian as fuck. You've probably already seen it since it broke the record for the most viewed YouTube video in a 24-hour period, and you watch YouTube videos about video games. You're doing it right now. You can't deny it. Hey, everyone on the bus! Michael is watching YouTube videos about video games. That's what you're hearing right now. Side-eye him. Be judgmental about it. GTA's leaking problem hasn't stopped yet, though, despite the fact that the 18-year-old perp has been caught and he's like chained to a radiator in a mental hospital or something for the rest of his life. Some internal info from Rockstar's been leaked, and let me just say, if you like Rockstar's single-player games and you're not particularly a huge fan of GTA Online, this is probably just gonna piss you off. But it outlines some canceled Rockstar projects, including Bully 2, GTA Tokyo, something called The Agent, which may have been a Cold War-era stealth game that was planned and scrapped back in the PS3 era, and 8 single-player DLCs for GTA 5. A few of them seem to be smaller things that add a single element to the game, called stuff like Assassination Pack, Relationship Pack, Enterprise Pack, stuff like that. The 3 that stand out are called Agent Trevor, Prologue DLC, and Liberty 5, which I assume would have added GTA 4's Liberty City to the game. According to some developers speaking anonymously, Red Dead 2 apparently grew in scope beyond what they had planned, and it wasn't just GTA Online that ate these projects. Still makes me glad that Naughty Dog canceled their Last of Us Online thing. Once one of these companies gets stuck in live service maintenance hell, it's very rare you ever see anything fucking good out of them again. Rockstar is maybe the one exception, and even then they fucking canceled Bully 2? Are we gonna just gloss over that? However, not every company needs an epic hacksaw teenager to leak their shit. Ubisoft just went and did it themselves by launching an unannounced Beyond Good and Evil HD remaster onto their Ubisoft Game Pass style subscription service. I do a video game news show, and that existing is news to me. Anyway, all 4 subscribers played it and went, hey, this isn't good. And then Ubisoft announced like, yeah, that's not done yet. I don't know how it got up there. We're working on that for next year. Ignore that. From early screenshots and reports, though, it's a full-blown native remaster, but not a remake, so in other words, it's not being emulated. Some stuff has been touched up to look and feel a bit better, but they didn't rebuild it from the ground up. Look, if Ubisoft could build a Beyond Good and Evil game from the ground up nowadays, well, we don't gotta talk about that. God of War Ragnarok got a Hades-esque roguelite DLC called Valhalla, and it's totally free, like I hope your mother is this evening. You better not backtalk me in the fucking comments, you little bitch, or you'll have a brother so fucking fast, I will create such an uncomfortable home environment for you, you have no idea. Oh yeah, it's got story stuff too. It's not just like a roguelike. Okay, so I know I run the story like twice a year already, but E3 is dead. For real this time. They're actually admitting it. Not to keep beating a dead convention, but E3 really did just get increasingly more and more cynical, and then it got sad, and then it sputtered out into a weird wet fart of a dysentery death that we see before us today. I've eulogized it like thrice. I'm not gonna do it again, but I genuinely think I will be nostalgic for the charmingly cringe age of overly enthusiastic gamer culture until the day I die. I'll be in the fucking home talking about how you used to be able to make a webcomic about being a gamer and that was it. Cyberpunk just keeps getting better. It really is. It's so much. At this point, you don't have to. They crammed an extra free update in alongside the release of their Game and the DLC Complete Edition, which includes street racing side activities, the ability to pop some some wheelies, hangouts with your romance options, and a cool train like the one I will fucking run on your mother with all my boys if you backtalk me in the comments. I dare you to now. I fucking want it to happen. Just to see the look on your face. Your brother won't know who his fucking dad is. We'll all be in it together and we'll continue to be an active part of his life. And you know what you'll get? You'll get the absolute fucking minimum amount of acknowledgement so that we can tell your mom we included you. You want a t-shirt for Christmas? Try it. Give me an excuse. Back in 2015, Ireland had a day where they accidentally legalized drugs, and this month, Twitch had a similar watershed moment. For one beautiful gamer's day, twitch.tv.com updated its terms of service to allow quote-unquote artistic nudity, essentially turning it into a porn site for 24 hours. As an expert on both video games and whacking it, if you were to ask me why, I'd guess it's because the e-girls using Twitch as a gateway to their OnlyFans are probably the main thing keeping the platform alive at this point. Twitch is probably just trying to give them as much leeway to thrive on Twitch itself as they can so they don't drive traffic and, more importantly, donations to another platform. This move, though, went too far and pissed off advertisers, so they reversed it, which is sad because I was gearing up to throw hog. I was gonna be the first anthropomorphic cock and ball VTuber, and they fucking ruined it! Anyway, here are the game releases for the month. I'm Lyle Rath, and this has been Pregame Discharge. Come back at the end of every month for more episodes. We also do cartoons and stuff here. We put one out a couple weeks ago. The algorithm didn't like it, but I did, and the people in the comments seemed to, so go check it out. I'll put a playlist here.